This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to the brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 223, the Lara Croft Tomb Raiders. Now, there's two of them inside this franchise. Now we're going to tackle the 2001 version with Angelina Jolie. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, how long has it been since you've seen Lara Croft Tomb Raider?
Well, I saw this at the theater. Loved it. I was 14 when this came out. Big crush. Instantly, Angelina Jolie became my celebrity crush at 14. And then I haven't watched it in years. I got the 4K, but I have not put it in. This was the first time. It had to at least been 8 to 10 years since I've seen it.
I have not seen this in a long, like when I tell you a long time, it was like semi first time watching these two movies.
There was a lot of parts I didn't remember. So I was like, This feels like first time.
Yeah, it felt kind of like that. But you're right. I purchased the 4Ks for the first two movie and the reboot once we found out that we were doing these. Because I had these on Blu-ray. I had them for a long time. So I was like, all right, it was time for the upgrade. I do enjoy Angelina Jolie films. So I was like, I had to get these puppies. So I ordered those. But yeah, let's get right into it. Let's see what the critics and audience have to say about Lara Croft Tomb Raider. What they said, Nate?
Yeah, Lara Croft Tomb Raider. What a name. They couldn't just call it Tomb Raider. They had to let you know Lara Croft is in it. So this, I was surprised a little bit with these scores. Then again, we've been doing all these video game movies and they've been having pretty low scores. So I guess in that regard, this is par for the course. This has a 20% critic score and only a 47% audience score. Now, I'm pretty sure I know a lot of people who like this movie, but the scores are pretty low. They don't reflect that. So yeah, they're not that good.
These are bad scores.
20?
I mean, a 20.
47. Yeah.
That's bad. But if my theory is right, with the audience being 47 higher, like close to 20 something higher than the critics, that means it was kind of close to the video games that the fans liked.
These games I played. The original PlayStation 1, Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3. Me and my cousin put in a lot of hours. So I feel like, not an expert, but I feel pretty good about talking about this movie with some knowledge.
Yeah, I played these two. I played the newer ones more. Not much in the original ones, but once we got to the new modern ones, I love those. Then I was more with the reboot. That was me. Now you're tackling the original one. So that's actually going to be pretty fun. So let's get right into it. Oh, lead character. Oh, beautiful Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. Neat.
PS1, baby. PS1. Listen, first of all, it can't be understated. Me and Alex here, we're not pigs. We respect women. Angelina Jolie is one of the most gorgeous women I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I've loved her since I saw her when I was like, there was another movie I saw of hers when I was a kid, and I was like, who's that? And then she was in Tomb Raider, and I said, I love her. She was in a Game Informer magazine. I'll never forget. They had like a whole, and I was like, oh my gosh, this woman is perfect. And then rewatching this now, I see her on screen, perfect. As the character. Perfect casting. I love this version of Lara Croft. I think they nailed it. These video games, they give you there's backstory on her, but there's not a ton, right? Her dad, she's on her own. She's super rich. Her dad was an explorer. In the movie, he's missing. I think in the games, I think he was dead. He might have been missing. That I don't remember, this overall story, but they nailed the look. She looks just like the PS1 version of Lara Croft, first of all. Now, how is the character in the movie? Because that's what we care about. I love her. I think she's great. As far as a video game character where there's not some insane amount of backstory, they gave her enough. She's rich. She has two friends, her butler and the science guy, and her interactions with them is really good. She's looking for her dad. If you want a little emotional stuff, there's that, right? Because she's looking for her dad. He's missing. She doesn't think he's dead. Then you get the little bit of history with Daniel Craig's character, right? They don't go too much, but it's there and there's something. I think they gave her enough for for a video game character. And Angelina Jolie might be one of the most top 5 perfect casting as far as a video game character to the actress bringing it to life. I gave her a 5. And she owns this movie, by the way. Before we get to anything else, she is easily, and there's some other stuff I like in this movie, she's the best part, in my opinion. I think she knocks it out the park. She took it seriously. She's like, yeah, this might be a dumb game, but she had won an Oscar already. So she gave it her all, and I loved her. 5.
Oh man, dude, everything you said was right on. Angelina Jolie is gorgeous. I still think she's gorgeous. Even when you see her in the red carpet now, I'm like, man, this lady's still beautiful. All right, but 2001 version, this is a prime meat freaking Angelina Jolie.
I just said we're not pigs, and you're like prime meat.
Prime meat. But in a good way, not in that type of way. But she is vintage meat, bro. Let me just say, she's so gorgeous, beautiful, but the character, you're right, she embodied. We talked about Alice and Mia Jovovich making a character that's not even in the Resident Evil lore relevant. She made this character stand out for a live action movie. Now, movie itself, we're going to talk about that, but the character, she embodied it. She was the explorer. She is a fighter. She is witty. She is charismatic. She is sexy. Yeah. She knows she is beautiful and still uses it. Her charm. Like, she did everything right, man. Like, there's nothing I can even, like, talk about. Like, I love the scene that she goes, when her butler goes, I'm going out for the night. And she goes, all right, I'll be here doing some stuff. And she puts on her music and she's doing her, with the
bungee stuff?
Yeah, with the bungee stuff. And I remember in the video game, you could do that in the mansion, right?
And do like run around and do all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah, you could do like your parkour or whatever.
Yeah, 4-wheelers you could drive. It was fun.
Yeah. So like I was like, that is so cool. Like, you know, there was just some cool stuff here. Daniel Craig as Alex West. Let me just tell you. Pre-Bond, okay?
Very.
Because me and my wife watched this and I was just like, now that you see him as Bond, right? Before, even when like I watched this, I said, man, if they never slapped Bond on this dude, not a good looking dude.
No, and his accent is horrible in this.
It's bad. Like he's not a good actor in this one, right?
No.
And I'm like, okay, but my wife said it's the Bond mirage, man. He goes, now that you slapped the 007, he's gorgeous.
Yeah, he looked weird actor. And he sounded horrible. He was in great shape, he had the shower scene.
Oh yeah, he looked. Yeah, but there was some parts that it did look like Bond. Like you looked at him and I was like, okay, this looked like a scene from Casino Royale where he had the remember in the beginning when they're trying to capture the dude with the book bag? I was like, he has the same getup. I was like, this is awesome. But anyway, not talking about him, talking about Angelina Jolie. I love her clothes. Each of her clothes in the movie were clothes from the video game. And I thought it was awesome. I thought it was cool. I love her with the long trench. Oh.
Yeah. And then she got the two guns.
The two guns are iconic, dude. And the robot thing was pretty cool. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Let's get to the actual
villain.
What was your
score? Did you also give her a 5?
I'm sorry. Yes. I slapped her with a 5. I mean, there was no way I was going to give her below 5. Let's get to main villain. Dr. Isaacs is back.
We can't get rid of this guy. We cannot get rid of this guy.
His name is Manfred
Powell.
Yeah, Manfred Powell.
By the way, I forgot to mention, her sidekick guys, love them. I actually like them a lot. They're some of the least annoying, like, sidekicks.
Well, Bryce and the butler?
The technology guy and the butler.
Yeah, that's
I enjoyed
Bryce.
them. Yeah, they were fun. Okay, Manfred Powell. I gave him a 3. He's pretty generic. To me, generic, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's a horrible villain, but I also don't think he adds, like, he's not. Maybe it's because we just saw this guy 7 times in the Resident Evil movies. That doesn't help. But I think he's pretty generic. He looks the part. He was a bit younger in this. You know what I mean? So, cool. He does fight. You know, he has a fight scene, it was cool. He did a good job. But what is he? He is not the leader, but like a second or third or fourth in command of the Illuminati. And the Illuminati is kind of the villains of this movie too, like the overarching, right? So cool. Okay. They take the Illuminati, which is like one of the most famous historical type things, right? So that's fine. I was okay with it. And, you know, this is an adventure film, an adventure action film. So, you know, these are the things, right? Indiana Jones, it was always the Nazis. And in this, they went with the Illuminatis. I'm not mad at it. That's cool. Yeah, or Freemasons or anything like that. Cool. Secret societies. I love it. But this guy gets a 3. Like, I don't have a problem with him, but I don't have much to say because he's just there. He's just one of those guys who's trying to get this thing so that he can take over like he can become the leader. You know, he has the leader shot. He's like, with this, I will control time itself. And so we can take over okay, pretty generic 3.
I do agree with you in one sense. I think I was getting tired of Dr. Isaacs, bro.
I need to watch a movie with this guy that's not in it.
Yeah, and we were getting that effect with Eric Roberts. Remember when each week was Eric Roberts? We're like,
what's going on here? Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, so we're getting him. We're getting the effect now, the trifecta. But anyway, I gave him a 4.
Oh, okay.
This is why I gave him a 4. He felt like a video game villain. And I was just like, you know what? We're doing a video game movie, and so far we never got a video game villain that felt like a video game villain live on live on screen.
Yeah.
And I felt like he did. Like I felt like Powell felt like that. He was charismatic. He was talking to her all nice, and you already knew he was gonna send the people to get the piece, and he did. And then he got it, and then he goes, "We got to work together." And I was like, you know what? I kind of like this. This is just like a video game. A little twist here and there, but I was like, it's pretty cool. And then at the end, he was like, "Your dad beg for it?" And she was like, "I'm gonna whip your ass." And I loved it. I said, yes, they're gonna fight. They had the mama clock, and I said, you better give her mama clock. And I was just like, this is cool. I liked it, dude. I was like, you know what? He fit the villain role. He was good. He had that voice of someone of that
smarmy British accent.
Asshole. Yeah, pretty much. Like he had that. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna slap him with a 4 too, because I was like, he did it for me. I was like, we got the villain. Finally, after 4 movies in, we got a villain that's actually a video game villain. So I was like, you know what?
What was his best part? It was hilarious. When he throws the knife and it hits Daniel Craig, then she reverses time when she jumps in that thing, right? Mm-hmm. Then she turns the knife. So technically he threw the knife into himself, right? When he's laying on the floor and he's still talking trash, like he's got a knife in his heart. He's like, guess what? I got your clock. And this is bro, you're dying, just die. And he still keeps going. I love that.
Yeah, and he was like,
gangster.
He's like, Laura. He was like, your father cried like a baby.
I love that. He begged for his life. I was like, oh,
when he said baby, the way he said it, he was like, a little baby. With a knife in his chest, like mocking her, like, you know what? Because he know everything was coming down. Anyway, I thought it was good. I gave him a 4. You gave him a 3. Yes. All right, let's get to action scenes.
I didn't remember that this movie had this much action scenes in it. I'm being honest with you. First of all, the director of this movie, Simon West, he's done some good He did I think it was our favorite Expendables movie, Expendables 2. He did direct Expendables 2 recently, but he's done a number of action films. And I think he's a better than competent action director, to be honest. I love the action in this. I ended up loving it. I gave it a 5. I mean, first of all, there's a lot. Like the opening scene where she's fighting the robot, I thought it was a fun intro, right? Like it's nothing to write home about, but it's cool. You're watching a video game movie. They need to show you Lara Croft, how she's going to look in real life. That scene nails the look. She got the shorts on. She got the ponytail. She got the 2 handguns. Like that is Lara Croft, right? And then the home scene where she's bungee jumping and those dudes break into her home. Awesome. She's like jumping across the thing, freaking kicking people into the walls. She throws the one guy into the other guy in the air. They're shooting machine guns. I loved it. I was like, this is what I'm talking about, baby. Do some more of this. Then honestly, I love the stuff when they're in the like temples, the two different like temple thing they go into, because it was all a big practical set and I loved it. It was real people crawling around, real, there's CGI with the monkeys and stuff like that. It's fine, whatever. But the fact that they built that big circle contraption and she's like climbing on it, sliding down it, going through it. I love crap like that. I thought the action was great. It was really well executed and a ton of fun. And there's a lot of it and it looks good. And you know me, that's my criteria. Is there a lot and did it look cool? And to me, it looked really cool, especially for a PG-13, I think they nailed it. There's a lot of killing and I enjoyed it. So I gave it a 5. I really didn't have any problems with it.
Dude, you said it the best. You said it with the words, fun. This was a fun action video game come to life. And even if we break it all down, it just comes down to, did it feel like a video game come to life? It absolutely 100%, not 90%, 100% you felt like you were playing a Tomb Raider game that just came to life with Angelina Jolie as the character. And you're right. That thing with the bungee cord is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I love the motorcycle in the garage when she gets into the motorcycle and she's like crashing all the expensive cars.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Like, that was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, you're right. Even the beginning with the robot was actually really cool. Because, I mean, in the video game, I believe it was a tiger you fight, right? When
You
you're
fight
running
tigers and the bears, all kind of animals.
Yeah,
You
so
shoot a lot of
animals. So this time is like animal activists
cool.
will get really mad, but
Yeah, so
this one they had to use robots. But I thought it was pretty cool. You're absolutely right. Even the ending, there was like the hand-to-hand fight, then they were all trying to shoot her. But you're right. The scenes of her trying to get the medallion and it just felt like an Indiana Jones set.
Yeah.
And I thought it felt good. And that right there, like when we were watching it, we were like, you know what? This feels like you're in the game. Like even when she tried to solve the puzzle, then she jumps on it and she swing it back to back. And then it does the little
big
pin.
pillar.
Yeah. And I was just like, you know what? I was like, this is hot shit. And you could tell she did it because the cameras moved back and you could tell she was on that damn thing swinging.
She did a lot of stunts.
Yeah, she did. And I think she enjoyed being Lara Croft. And I was just like, man, she needed to do a third one. I don't know why she didn't finish the trifecta with the third, but we'll talk about that with the sequel. But I liked it a lot. I thought this was fun from beginning to end. The action is nonstop, practical effects, like you said. No CGI nowhere. Maybe there is, but you know what?
Not with the humans.
Didn't see it.
It's with the other stuff, you know?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it. And you know what? I thought it was pretty cool. So I gave it a 5 too. There's no way I could give it a 4 or anything. Okay. Storyline.
All right. Well, let's come back down to earth a little bit. You know, sometimes we got to reel it back. We get all hyped. The action's amazing. 5. And then we get to the story and it's like, well, not amazing, but solid. I call this a good, solid storyline, honestly. There are some issues. The aforementioned like stone monkeys and big stone woman thing. It somewhat works, but also it's kind of dumb to me. You know, like this movie, it's one of those adventure films. I mean, Indiana Jones has this too, but this took it to like 10, where in Indiana Jones, there's mystical stuff, right? Like they open the Ark of the Covenant and freaking all this freaking lightning and all this stuff is shooting out and people's faces are melting. Like that's mystical, right? And in the Last Crusade, you got that guy who's like 1,000 years old who's been living in the cave or like that's mystical. So it's okay. You can have mystical elements. But this one, it was like these stone monkeys and stuff. I didn't love it. It worked okay for the action scene. Also, I did like the stuff with her dad, but I didn't like the resolution to it, to be honest. Like, oh yeah, I shot him. He just died in the field. It was kind of a letdown. You know what I mean? Like for what they kind of build towards. I don't remember. So I was like, is he alive? Because I don't remember part 2 at all, by the way. Spoiler alert for the next episode. I've seen that maybe once. So I was like, is he alive? I don't know. And then it kind of just goes like, wah, wah. Nope, he died off screen. And then they show it a little bit, but it's like not that cool. So that was kind of a letdown. But I thought as far as an adventure film goes, I don't know what people hated about it. I think it mostly works, you know? Sure, there's some early 2000s. This feels very early 2000s. But the music is awesome, like super awesome early 2000s music. I gave it a 4. I thought it was good. I had a fun time with it. I was interested when it wasn't action. I was still interested in what was going on. So I think that's a success.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. When you know you get excited because of the action, the star, you know, the villain, depending if the villain's good or bad. When he gets a storyline, it's like a double-edged sword. You really don't know if it's good or you really don't know it's bad. But when it comes to Tomb Raider, it's average. It's between. And I thought it was you're right. It's solid, but it was good. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it for what it was. I was like, you know what? It wasn't a piece of crap. And it wasn't even horrible. Like, oh, this is really bad. I thought it was a decent, good. I understand the movie. I enjoyed it. Her dad died. She's trying to figure out why. And then all this started to unfold. And it was a mystery on top of it. It was crazy. It was like a little mystery on top. And I kind of liked it. It was a little mystery. And I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty cool. I liked it. The whole thing with the puzzles and everything. And I'm like, you know, you got me there. The Illuminati always gets me, where the Sherlock Holmes and all that. I love it. You get me with the Freemasons and all that shit. You got me hooked. I'm like, this shit is cool. So I liked it. It was fun. I was like, this is cool. You're right. The thing with John Voight, I would have loved to see him get shot. I know they showed it when when he talked about it and they showed it on the thing, but I wish they opened up the movie with it. So at least we go, oh, damn. And then they go fast forward present time and then you see Angelina Jolie doing the same thing. That would have been pretty cool. But I mean, it is what it is. I just didn't like the time stuff. I'm never a fan of time. I know I love Back to the Future, but I'm not a fan of time. I always think time is in a movie is very hard to tell because it's hard. You got to explain it, and then if it doesn't work well, then you're like, shit, this movie sucks. right? And then you got to be like a physics major to figure out what they're talking about. So this one was I understood what the whole thing was going on with the planets aligning, and you got to get it right at this time and that. And I thought it was pretty cool to make the scenes intense. Like, man, she got to put it in right now. So I thought it was pretty cool. Again, I gave this movie a 3. I thought it was a good, like you said, solid game movie. I think out of all the movies that we reviewed so far that's video game, this one so far felt like a video game. Need for Speed did, but Need for Speed, like you said, it didn't have like an actual storyline. They just made up their own. This one felt like you took a video game and you just put it into your player and it just came to life on screen. So I gave it a 3. Yeah. I thought it was good.
By the way, I screwed up. I also gave it a 3.
I'm sorry.
I read the wrong score. No, I gave the storyline a 3. Like, it was good and solid. I agree with everything you said. It was good and solid. So with that being said, I clearly read my overall score instead of, I gave it a 4.
What's your overall?
Yeah, I gave it a 4.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, I read it wrong. I gave it a 3 for storyline. I agree with you, but I had fun with it. Overall, though, the action, the star power, the charisma. Everybody in this movie got a ton of charisma. You got to at least give him that. Daniel Craig's kind of horrible, but at least he got some charisma. That's maybe why they saw for Bond. You know, he got some swag, even though he's kind of weird looking and he does a terrible American accent. If we just leave him to be British, we'll be fine. And it worked. Angelina Jolie, a star in this, like a shining star. And that gets you places when you're watching a movie. You know, when you feel like you're watching a star, it can get you through a lot. The villain's okay, but the action was a ton of fun. Again, I love this video game. The original Tomb Raiders. Me and my cousins, we used to just run around the house, the mansion, and do all that stuff. So all the stuff in the mansion, I liked. I was like, yes, thank you. See, and this was my problem with the reboot. She's like poor and doesn't even want to be rich. Like, that's part of the character. Part of the character is she's super rich. She doesn't need to do any of this stuff that she does, but she does it anyway. And that adds to her personality a lot. You know what I mean? It informs the viewer of how she is as a person, that even though she's freaking a millionaire, she still has that desire for adventure, that need. In the reboot, she's poor, so she has to do this to try to find her dad and get, like, she's got no money, so she's agreeing to do it. So it changes her. I gave it a 4. I had a blast. I forgot that this movie, there's scenes that I remembered, but there was a lot that I watched and I felt like it was pretty new. Plus, when she comes up when they're going to leave and she walks up in the long coat and the glasses, she just looks so gangster. So I like that. So 4.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. I gave this movie a 4 also. This movie is fantastic. I think it's a great movie. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I think it just has the entire package. You have Angelina Jolie's star power. You got action. You have charisma. She's very sexy. It's everything. The music is also fun. So yeah, I give it a 4. I think this is a great video game movie. So yeah. So Nate, what's coming up next?
Yeah.
What's your total points?
My total's a 20 out of a 25. I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be lower. Even though I remember liking the movie, I was like, this movie might suck, but I don't think it sucked. I thought it was really great, and I had a fun time. 20 out of 25. Yeah,
I give it a 21 out of 25. I think this is an excellent video game movie, and I enjoyed the 4K. It wasn't all glamour, but the 4K was decent. It was actually pretty good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the second one looked better, but this one does.
Yeah, it did. It will look way better. But I mean, we'll talk about that in the next episode. But with that said, Nate, what is coming up next?
Well, there you go. That is what's coming up next. Next episode, we are going to be covering This is the worst title: Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. That's the full title of it. So this one is called Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. That one's called Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Cradle of Life. Horrible title. Whoever thought of that? Stupid. Well, we're going to be covering that. New director, some different actors. Did we like it better? Did we like it worse? You're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to know, Simon West did Con Air, The Mechanic.
Awesome.
Expendables 2, and then he did some other action movies there on his list. But with that said, you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts, please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything action movie guys, head over to youtube.com/Geeks and Flakes for the video version of the podcast, or head over to our brand new Instagram page at Action Movie Guys Podcast. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and he is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.